Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at something most people don't see, but we all rely on constantly: data centers.
Exactly. They're the hidden backbone of, well, everything digital.
And we're diving into sources about a new spatial AI solution. The goal here sounds ambitious, maybe even like science fiction, achieving absolute perfection in these places.
That's the mission, yeah. We're looking at this platform that brings together extended reality, XR, and AI. The idea is to basically engineer out human error, make these facilities totally precise, totally reliable.
Okay, let's unpack that before we get to the solution. What happens when things aren't perfect in a data center? What are the real stakes here?
Oh, the stakes are incredibly high. It's not like your home internet going down for a bit.
Right.
These places run under what the industry calls the tyranny of the nines.
Tyranny of the nines.
Yeah, it means they target 99.999% uptime. 5 nines.
And what does that translate to in real time?
It means you can only have, get this, 5.26 minutes of unplanned downtime
For the entire year.
for the entire year. If you miss that target, the financial hit is instant. Huge penalties, usually baked right into their customer contracts, their SLAs.
So we're talking serious money. What kind of cost are we looking at when an outage does happen?
The number the sources point to is pretty shocking. The average cost for enterprise downtime is now over $9,000
Per hour.
per minute.
Wow. Okay. So if something goes wrong for an hour, that's...
Yeah, you're easily clearing $500,000. It adds up incredibly fast. A real catastrophe.
And you'd think the cause would be some massive equipment failure, right? A power grid issue, maybe?
That's what most people assume. But the sources are really clear on this and consistent too. The overwhelming cause.
Oh, is it?
It's human error.
Really? Just mistakes?
Yeah, often during totally routine stuff. Maintenance, installing new gear, patching cables. Simple things, but with massive consequences.
The sources actually quote the chairman of EON Reality on this exact point. He says something like, a single incorrectly patched fiber cable or a misconfigured power unit.
Can trigger catastrophic outages. Yeah.
That quote really nails it.
So a tiny mistake, maybe one wrong connection.
And boom, you've got multi-million-dollar consequences, severe penalties. It explains why this idea of a zero-error mandate isn't just talk, it's survival.
You mentioned these are massive facilities. The complexity must be incredible.
Oh, it is. Especially the newer hyperscale ones. They're engineering marvels.
What are we talking about inside?
Think about these hugely complex interconnected systems. You've got massive power grids coming in, sophisticated industrial cooling systems dealing with unbelievable amounts of heat.
Right.
And then networking racks packed incredibly densely, handling terabits of data. Everything depends on everything else.
So one small failure.
Can cascade.
Exactly.
Flawless execution isn't just a goal, it's the absolute baseline. You mess up, you might be out of business.
Okay, so that complexity is one challenge. The sources mentioned two other big operational issues. First one seems obvious: security.
Yeah, physical security is huge. And it's not just about fences and cameras, it's about procedure.
Well, these places hold literally the world's most valuable asset data. So any slip up, even something like, forgetting to enforce anti-tailgating at a door or propping a door open for a second, that could lead to a massive compliance failure, huge reputational damage. It has to be perfect.
And the second big issue is the human side, the workforce.
That's the real bottleneck the industry is facing right now. There's this explosive demand for skilled technicians. They call them smart hands.
The smart hands, okay.
These are the people doing the physical work inside, but the demand is it's way outstripping the supply of experienced people.
So what do data center operators do if they can't find enough experienced staff?
Well, they're forced to hire less experienced people and train them up fast.
You just said it's a zero-error environment. How do you train quickly for that?
Exactly. That's the critical question. How do you take someone relatively new, get them skilled up in weeks instead of months or years, and trust them to work flawlessly in a room where one mistake costs millions without, massively increasing your risk?
Okay, so that tension, needing skilled people fast in a place where mistakes are catastrophic. That's what this digital data center platform is designed to solve. Well, let's start with the first part you mentioned, the digital twin.
Right, the digital twin. This is the foundation for everything else. Think of it as a perfect one-to-one digital replica of the entire physical data center.
One-to-one, like every server rack, every cable.
Every rack, cooling unit, power distribution unit,
Right.
right down to the labels on individual network ports, centimeter accurate, the whole physical space just digitized.
A virtual clone. Why is that so crucial?
Because it creates a completely safe place to practice. It's consequence-free.
Ah, sandbox.
Exactly. Technicians can run through really high-risk procedures, maybe migrating a critical customer's equipment, or practicing a complex cabling job for a new server row, even simulating taking old gear offline. They can do it over and over.
If they mess up.
Nothing happens. They just reset and try again. They can fail virtually 100 times until they get it absolutely perfect. That's something you can never allow in the live physical data hall.
So they build muscle memory and familiarity before they even touch the real equipment.
Precisely. They learn the layout, master the protocols, all in this safe virtual space. They're confident and competent before they even step inside the secure area.
Okay, that makes sense for training. But then how does this connect to the actual work being done on the floor? This is where the AI and the AR come in.
This is where it gets really interesting, yeah. This is solution 2. The AR-assisted smart hands procedures. It uses something called EON merged XR.
Merged XR.
Yeah, the merged part is key. It means the system blends the digital information from the twin directly onto the technician's view of the real world. They wear smart glasses.
Like HoloLens or something similar.
Exactly. And through those glasses, they see the real equipment, but with digital instructions overlaid directly onto it.
So walk me through it. I'm a technician. I'm standing in front of a rack. What do I see?
Okay, imagine you need to plug a specific network cable into a specific port on a switch that has maybe 48 identical ports.
Easy to make a mistake there.
Very easy, especially under pressure or at 3 a.m. But with this system, a glowing holographic indicator might appear, highlighting the exact port you need to plug into.
Wow.
Or say you need to power down a server following a precise sequence. The system could visually outline the buttons to press in the right order, maybe confirming each step as you complete it.
So it's like having an expert guide looking over your shoulder, pointing things out.
An expert guide with perfect knowledge of the procedure, yeah. It acts like an intelligent, dynamic checklist overlaid on reality. It massively cuts down the chance of those simple, costly errors, misidentifying a component, missing a step.
And can it do more complex things? Like troubleshooting?
Absolutely. If a technician is trying to diagnose a tricky problem, the system could project relevant data, maybe network traffic flows or diagnostic checklists right next to the physical device they're looking at. Real-time, intelligent support right where they need it.
That's pretty powerful. Okay, so we've covered routine work, installation. What are when things go really wrong? Emergencies,
Yes.
security incidents. Does this help there too?
Yeah. It does. That's solution 3. Immersive security and emergency protocol drills. This is all about building resilience for those crisis moments.
Now, more virtual reality.
Exactly. Using EON XR simulations, but this time focused on emergency response. They put technicians, security teams, even facility managers through simulated crises in a controlled way.
What kind of crises are we talking about?
Oh, things like rehearsing how to respond if someone tries to tailgate through a secure entrance, or simulating a fire alarm and practicing the shutdown and evacuation procedures, or even walking through the steps if a main power backup system, a UPS, starts to fail.
Okay, so practicing the protocols under simulated stress.
Right. And the sources highlight that this is great for multi-team drills, too. You can get the network team, the facilities team, and the security team all practicing together.
Testing how they communicate and coordinate.
Precisely. Testing communication, response times, making sure everyone knows their role, their procedures, like those detailed two-factor authentication steps to access certain areas. You build that muscle memory so when a real emergency hits, the response is automatic and correct.
Flawless execution under pressure. Okay, makes sense. So they train perfectly, they execute perfectly with AR guidance, they respond perfectly to emergencies. But how do they prove all this, especially to auditors or clients?
That's the crucial final piece. Solution 4, AI-powered compliance training. This uses another part of the platform called EON Accredit and Assessment.
Okay, accredit and assessment. What does that do?
This makes the training verifiable, quantifiable evidence. The key thing is compliance mapping.
Meaning?
Every training module, every simulation, every AR-guided task they complete successfully. It's all tagged in the system to specific compliance controls.
Like standards they have to meet.
Exactly. Standards like SOC2 or ISO 27701, or maybe specific data privacy laws depending on the region.
So it connects the training directly to the regulation.
Yes. And this creates what the sources call a data flywheel. As technicians train and perform tasks, the platform logs everything: who did what, when, how well they did it, time-stamped, verifiable records of competence,
An automatic audit trail.
a completely automated audit trail. Training generates data, that data proves compliance for audits, and then the results of those audits can feed back into refining the training. It's a closed loop.
So operators can just show auditors this data as proof of operational excellence.
Data-driven proof. It's incredibly valuable, especially for those high-stakes client audits where they need to demonstrate reliability and security. It builds that chain of custody for human skill, essentially.
Got it. Before we talk about the impact, the ROI, you mentioned they roll this out in phases.
Yeah, it's a strategic 4-phase approach, but they're smart about it. Phase 1 is the technician smart hands training. We talked about the virtual practice and AR guidance.
Tackling that main source of errors first.
Right. And phase 2 is the physical security and access control training, the drills and protocols. Those are priority 1.
Why those two first?
Because they directly address the biggest sources of downtime and the most immediate security risks. Get those right, and you start seeing the return on investment almost immediately.
Okay, let's talk about that ROI then. The bottom line. If you're a CIO or running one of these facilities, what results are they actually seeing?
Yeah.
What are the measurable gains?
Well, the outcomes from the early adopters, according to the sources, they're not just theoretical, they're concrete numbers.
Give us the headlines. Error reduction.
They're reporting a 50% reduction in human error incidents.
50%. Half the mistakes just gone.
Half the procedural errors that typically lead to those expensive outages, yeah, eliminated through better training and the AR guidance.
Okay, if you cut errors by half, and we know downtime costs $9,000 a minute, how does that translate financially? What's the ROI look like?
The sources state they're seeing over 230% ROI.
230%. In how long?
In the first year. And that's not just a guess. It's calculated based on preventing about $1 million in direct SLA credit payouts, assuming they had a baseline risk exposure of around $2 million a year.
So the platform basically pays for itself more than twice over in year one, just by preventing costly mistakes.
Exactly. It highlights that investing in this tech can be fundamentally cheaper than trying to find and retain enough super experienced, super expensive senior staff to achieve that same zero error level manually.
That makes sense. Any other benefits besides preventing disasters? Efficiency, maybe?
Yes, that's the other layer, speed and efficiency.
How much faster are technicians getting work done?
Because they're better trained, more confident, and have the AR guidance, they're completing tasks, installs, maintenance, repairs, somewhere between 25% and 40% faster.
That's significant.
It really is. It means lower labor costs, sure, but also faster turnaround for customers, getting new servers online quicker, getting repairs done faster, higher facility utilization.
And that speed, that efficiency, that directly tackles the talent shortage problem we talked about earlier, right?
Massively. It's not just making current staff better, it's speeding up the whole pipeline.
How much faster can they onboard new people now?
This is maybe the most staggering figure. The sources say traditional onboarding for a data center tech, getting them fully trained and trusted for critical tasks, unsupervised, takes anywhere from 3 to 6 months.
Okay, long time.
With this platform, using the virtual practice, they've standardized that down to just 4 to 6 weeks.
Weeks, from 6 months down to maybe 1 month.
Yeah, potentially an 80% or even 90% reduction in training time. That's how you solve the smart hands shortage. You can actually scale up your workforce quickly without sacrificing quality or increasing risk.
And is this just for niche operators, or is it broader?
Oh, it's aiming for broad adoption. The sources mentioned 4 main partnership channels they're using.
Who are they working with?
The hyperscalers, first off, think AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, then the big colocation providers like Equinix, also traditional enterprise data centers, and, crucially, the hardware manufacturers themselves.
Hardware manufacturers, like Dell, Cisco. Why them?
Think about it. If the manufacturers create the official digital twin models and the AR-guided installation procedures for their own equipment.
Then the quality control is built in right from the start. Standardized.
Exactly. It standardizes best practices across the entire global supply chain. So, from the factory to the shipping pallet to the moment it's installed in a data center anywhere in the world, the procedure is guided, verified, and correct.
So, wrapping this up, this whole deep dive seems to be about using this spatial AI tech to finally get a handle on the biggest risk factor in these critical facilities, the human element.
That's the core of it, yeah. taking this incredibly high-risk, zero-tolerance environment and transforming the human operations side into something measurable, verifiable, and, well, near perfect.
And it sounds like the industry experts agree this is the way forward.
They do. The consensus seems to be that the companies who master this, who build the most effective, safest, best-trained human teams, supported by this tech, they will simply run the most reliable data centers. And reliability equals value in this business. The tech is here to build that perfect workforce.
It leaves you with a really interesting thought, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If this kind of immersive, safe, virtual practice and real-time AR guidance becomes the standard, does the whole definition of skill for a technician change?
How do you mean?
Well, does it shift away from needing to memorize thousands of steps under intense pressure and more towards flawlessly executing the steps shown by the AR system, becoming really good at following that guidance precisely?
That's a fascinating question. If you can reliably get someone to expert-level performance in just 4 or 6 weeks,
Right. What new kinds of career paths does that open up? Could it bring a whole different group of people into these critical tech roles much faster? Something for you, the listener, to think about.
definitely food for thought. We've certainly covered a lot on achieving that zero-error goal today.
Indeed. We'll catch you next time for the next deep dive.